I am back once again. I know I really wanted to do this review Saturday at least, but I couldn't. So here's my review on the Mortal Kombat 11 Mcfarlane Toys Noob Saibot. This is the bloody version. I don't own the normal version because I didn't get the normal version at first. So there he is. Now let's take a look at the packaging. So there's the front with the stand that I didn't open. You see Mortal Kombat 11. The thing with this box, though, is that it's more golden. It's like yellow color. It's like a golden yellow color. Instead of the traditional black and traditional Mortal Kombat colors. It also has the normal font, the Mortal Kombat 11 font and logo than the regular Mortal Kombat 11 boxes, like the Sub-Zero box. Here's the top. There's, again, nothing there, just see-through. On the bottom, it says... It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo and UPC. On the side, it says we have Mortal MK for Mortal Kombat and for also forms 11, and you get Noob Saibot. On the side, on the other side, it says Mcfarlane Toys. It's completely black with a yellow font, and it has a bottom, and at the bottom you can see Noob Saibot's sickle. And on the back, we get no description on who is Noob Saibot, but we get. It says 22 moving parts. And I think the poses are very different for the bloodier and non-bloody versions of the boxes. So there we go. There's the box. Now, onto the figure. The painting and the sculpting on this thing is actually pretty game accurate. Now, I did this recording 3 times. The hood is accurate, yes. Bit troublesome to, like, fix and kind of straighten it out. And as you can see, if you remove this, you can see more detail for his mask. Now, I originally thought his mask was silver instead of gold, but I think it's like a bronze color. So yeah, very nicely painted. He has pure white eyes. Maybe they could have been a bit more vibrant because they were very vibrant. His shoulder pads, nothing special about them. They're just very, they're nicely painted and sculpted, and they're pretty sharp too, as well. Very sharp. Well, I say very sharp. They're just mildly sharp. It kind of hurts to play with this. There's some nice detail, weathering, and you even see a bit of battle damage onto it. Moving on to the back, you can also see a bit of blood, and I said this is the bloody version. So there's blood on the other side of his shoulder, leading down to his chest, to his gauntlets and hands, to his side, to his thigh, to the side of his back. So as you can see, it's pretty nice. And as you can see, it's also pretty nicely painted, especially nicely sculpted, especially with this. It's very torn and maybe it could have been a bit more dirtier. I mean, I haven't played the game in a long time. His gauntlets, again, very nicely painted. Nice painting and sculpting around with it with a lot more chrome, and you can even see a strap around it. And as you can see with his hands, very normal with his palm, inside of his palm's not that bloody, but it is bloody here. You can also see, there's his chest. If I'm correct, there's a bit of silver brown there, or bronze, and there's a lot more blood. There's silver there, and then we have his little loincloth here. There's more tearing, more detail showing that this is a wraith. It looks pretty nicely painted and sculpted. And then moving on to his thighs, let me just move this side up. There's actually a bit of brown going into it. You can also see a bit of straps holding the little knee strap, and it looks really nicely painted. I also think the articulation here, this part, is so much better than Sub-Zero's. You can also see the nicely painted knee pads, and they're also a bit of bronze and silver. That's pretty cool. Going into it, also he has these very small feet with tiny little pointy little toenails. Thought they looked like claws. Now let's get into the bad, because this figure has some serious flaws. First of all, going into the articulation a little bit, his arm is very limited because of the shoulder pad. You can remove this and slightly break it, so that means you can do it, but it kind of sucks. Another thing as well is that mine I don't even know how to fix this part. Maybe I need to, like, hair dryer it, forcefully shove it in, you know, all that stuff. But then let's get to the bad with this thing. This is why I think this is very flawed. When I got this out of the box, I noticed his thigh was very stiff. So I tried to bend it, like, you know, like his other knee. Now that's about to break. I tried to bend it, but there was no bend at all. So I tried to hair dryer it. Maybe it was, you know, frozen like most of my other figures, kind of. Tried, it didn't work. Then put some baby oil. Don't think this too deep, okay? It's just like a thing for, you know, babies. I don't know what it is, but it was like some sort of lubricant that was able to like go into there and wet it all up, and it's better than water, and it tried to work. It's like a sort of floor polish. I didn't use dish soap. I tried doing that, it didn't work. Then I went ahead, hair dried this thing, or put it under warm water, tore it apart, and I figured out that the joint here was molded by accident. And what I could see, you could see that with the joint. It was molded. It was molded. And it really, really sucks I had to do that. You can also see that when I was trying to do it, it also broke his knee pad. It really sucks that I had to do this. I had to basically break this thing, and then I had to hot glue this part, so that means it could be secure, because this thing has serious issues. And now I feel like his feet are also affected by it, because this feet worries me a lot. Yeah, it's very, 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 very sad that I have to deal with it. I have to deal with this. I deal with this once with my Scout Predator figure, and even worse, his thigh broke. Very sad. Moving on to the articulation, I think it's actually way better than Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, I had like I thought it was very good, but now I think about it, the articulation is very, very, very cumbersome. So let's go over the articulation. Head is on a ball joint. You can look up, not that much, but look down that much. I really wish this, you know, could angle well without looking at the bottom. Tilt side to side and lean side to side. Swivel, of course, there, but it's very, very, this cloth is very big. His arms can only grow about that far without breaking it. Bend. And I think I'm about to break it. There's like a butterfly joint, if you can see it. There's a bit of a butterfly joint there. And it works, I think, I don't know. And then you get this bend at the elbow, not as much because of the arm pad. Hinge at the hand, which also counts as a swivel. And also you can do this, so that means you can get some pretty cool options. So you can do a tilt. So it's like one of those joints. Hopefully it doesn't break. Waist articulation is really good. This is the ab crunch. You can look down, you can look up. Pretty far now, I say about that. He has a waist swivel, I think. A kick at the top, not that much back, a decent spread, and like I said, I actually prefer these legs over Sub-Zero's. Swivel at the knee, and a double bend at the knee. Like I said, this is broken, so hopefully it stays there for long. And yes, this is also sharp, kind of. And then I was trying to burp, excuse me. Okay. Bend at the foot, swivel, which counts as a swivel, and toe bend. Posability is really good. It's just, it was hampered because of the figure's misfortunes out of the box. Like, really, did I have to experience this? Because when I was getting my Stalker, if you watch my video on it, 2 months ago, you would know that I actually had a lot of problems with his knee. And he also has a little bit of a problem standing because of his feet. So overall, posability is really good. Now moving on to size comparisons. Noob Saibot stands at a solid, roughly a solid 7.5 inches. That was really loud, I'm very sorry. Here he is with the Mortal Kombat 11 Sub-Zero Frozen Over version. So he's roughly the same size, and he also has issues standing. And here he is with another Mcfarlane toy that I got. It was very old. I think it was like 2018. And this is the Fortnite Omega figure, which also has problem standing. Anyways, I also forgot to mention, here's his one accessory, the sickle. Now, it's slightly bent, but it's also, in terms of the spikes, but it's very nicely painted and sculpted. It's also very vibrantly bloody. It's very nicely painted, too. I really like how this looks. Now, I try to do a similar thing with a sort of storage, like in the game, because in the game, he actually puts his sickle inside of him, and it's like halfway. So I try to do that with this figure, and I think it can work. Maybe you need to drill a hole in it to do that, but you can do something like this. Not very accurate to the game, but at least it's close. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Depending on which version you get, this is actually a really good figure. Now, personally, I know personal bias is going to come in and say that, oh, I like this figure because this is Noob Saibot. But even on its own, I think it's very well painted for a figure. And very, like, the blood is more vibrant than this. And it poses much better than also this, because this figure has the worst elbows, the worst feet, and the worst legs I can think of for a figure. Whereas here, he actually poses he poses way better. However, before you do that, try to check some of the joints if they're molded. If they're not molded and they can still work, try using a hairdryer or some sort of hairdryer or hot water to actually warm up the joint. So that means you can then do something like this. If they're very stuck, I don't know what to do for you. I suggest hair drying it and then trying to bend it, and then, I don't know, it's a big pain that I have to go through a figure like this, especially since I really love Noob Saibot. Anyways, if I had to rank this figure out of 10, I give it a solid 7.9 or an 8 out of 10. It's a very good figure. I really recommend it. And at least it's a new Mortal Kombat character, because most of the other characters from Mortal Kombat 11 from Mcfarlane I don't like, or they're just repaints that I kind of hate. So anyways, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I will put a link in the description below for where you can get the normal version of this figure. And I'll see you next time with hopefully another review coming soon. Maybe, it might be Kong. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time with that review. And enjoy the photo gallery. Bye-bye.